I received another advisory. It didn't say anything different than yesterday. I'm laughing because the traffic may be impeded. I'm sure you found out, like I did, by accident and by surprise, that the on-ramps were closed yesterday on the way home. As far as I know, they still may be closed. I don't know what's going to happen later. Esther is keeping track on any notifications. I'll let you know if there's anything that we need to discuss. If you see her running out screaming, then there's an issue that we're going to have to discuss. Mr. Simonelli is still under oath, and Ms. Burke, you may continue.
Thank you, Good afternoon, Mr. Simonelli. Just a few more questions. Earlier, you testified that after your dad was killed, most of the communication you had with Monica was by text message. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you testified that the majority of those communications were about insurance, you said. Is that correct?
About money.
Okay. But isn't it true, Mr. Simonelli, that you communicated with Monica over that period of months? I think we're talking about between January and June of 2017 about a number of different subjects?
There were other subjects in there as well, yeah.
And you repeatedly sent her text messages telling her you loved her?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
And you sent her a number of text messages about after you received the payout on the insurance in March that you purchased a new car?
Mm-hmm. That's right. I started driving just that year, so yeah, I was able to get a car.
And you purchased a new car in March?
It wasn't a new car, but I purchased a car in March,
Okay.
yeah.
And you texted her about everything to do with taking your driving test. I think you were taking it a couple of times and how challenging that was. And
Yes, I failed the first time, thank you, yeah.
I didn't say that. And you also were appreciative that Monica was continuing to pay some of your bills, your phone bill?
No, I think at that time I was already paying my own phone bill.
Okay. Am I correct that before Fabio was killed, they, meaning Monica and Fabio, were paying some of your bills?
That's right, yeah. When I was on Bell Mobility, they were paying my bills when I was a student. But post-murder, it was around that time that I made my own account with Fido, who I've been with since then, yeah.
But you were thanking her for paying your bills in your text messages?
I don't recall that text message being sent. I'm appreciative when family helps me out. So at that time, it sounds like something I would have said, yeah.
As part of the communications after your dad was killed?
So that part is I'm a little bit foggy on because it was around the same time that it was no longer being paid for me. So to use that as an example is what's kind of throwing me off.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But they were paying your bills?
Yes,
Okay.
they helped me. My dad, they helped me with a lot of stuff, tuition, phone bills, yeah.
Okay. And during those communications between the end of January and June, you were also asking Monica about progress in the investigation?
Mm-hmm.
And had questions about what the police had learned about who killed your dad, correct?
That's right, correct.
And you testified earlier, Mr. Simonelli, that anytime a beneficiary was paid out, I think your testimony was that Monica got upset. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, so whenever news of a beneficiary receiving something that was not her and she got wind of it, yes, frustration, surprise, absolutely. I just don't want to mince words with upset versus some other thing. But yes, there was surprise, there was frustration because she had not received her portion. and yeah.
Okay, but as we discussed earlier, when you got paid out on the policy that was just for you on March 6th, you informed Monica of that, and she immediately texted you back, "Good for you, Luigi, I'm so happy," correct?
Objection, Your Honor, cumulative.
Sustained?
She didn't express upset at that news of you being a
Same objection.
beneficiary.
It is cumulative, counsel.
Thank you. I'll move on. And am I correct, Mr. Simonelli, that there were no other times that a beneficiary was paid out after that until July of 2017?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object. This would call for speculation.
As form sustained, and also as form, counsel was testifying.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll ask you, Mr. Simonelli. Can you tell me another single instance after that exchange with Monica about being happy you had gotten paid out? Was there a single other exchange with Monica Simonelli about a beneficiary having been paid out and Monica expressing upset?
Discussions about it, yes, but in terms of was it an instance that was spurred on by an additional beneficiary receiving some additional amount? That I'm not sure. But other discussions about the life insurance that had been paid out to the beneficiaries, for example, myself, and to the fact that she had not received hers, multiple discussions were had about this topic.
In fact, no one else had received any monies from the policy from your dad's work, correct,
Objection,
during this
Your Honor.
period?
Speculation.
Sustained.
Were you aware, did you have any understanding that any monies had been paid out from your dad's work policy?
Same objection.
Yeah, well, I'll call for hearsay. Sustained on that ground.
Mr. Simonelli, am I correct that you received no payout from your dad's life insurance policy with his work between March of 2017 and July of 2017?
I received the $150,000 from Manulife, and then I received an additional $259,000 from MetLife. That was related to the work. I think, is that what you're referring to?
That is.
Yes. So both of those were received in 2017.
Okay. And the MetLife policy, which was your dad's work policy,
Yeah.
you did not receive that until July,
Until after Monica was arrested.
after Monica was arrested.
That's correct.
And I think, as you said, you received $150,000 Canadian from the Manulife policy. That was in March, correct?
Your Honor, I object. This is cumulative again.
It is.
And can you tell me the total amount that you received from your dad's life insurance?
Yep. So again, the first check, I said this already, but the first check was 150,000 Canadian. Second check, 259,000 American.
And Mr. Simonelli, when you met with the detectives that first time, or you were interviewed the first time, I should say, after Monica was arrested, you made clear to them, did you not, that you believed that Monica had ruined your family before your dad was killed, separate from her being arrested or anything to do with the allegations, correct?
Sure. Whenever someone goes through that situation as a young person, they're always going to hold a little bit of resentment towards the figures in their life that broke up what they were promised, right? A happy, full home life. So yeah, there's a little bit of that rock of resentment between step-parents and stepchildren.
And you specifically told the detectives it was because of your dad's affair with Monica, that was the reason that broke up your parents'
I'm going to
marriage.
object. It's hearsay.
Goes the bias. It's overruled.
Did you hear me?
Can you try to repeat the question?
Yeah. You specifically told those detectives, in referring to Monica ruining your family, that it was because Monica and your dad had had an affair which caused the end of your parents' marriage.
That's right.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Any redirect?
Yes, thank you. Showing you what defense counsel was asking you about in terms of a text message that was dated March 6th of 2017. You said after the initial portion where the defendant said, "Good for you, I'm so happy," she went on to say other things. That would be what we see here, correct?
That's correct.
Things here are taking much longer, but hopefully soon we will know more. So in this, she was talking about her own portion as you've been discussing with us today.
Objection,
That's right.
misstates the evidence
So
and is testifying.
It's not testifying, but it is calling for a conclusion.
Of the life insurance proceeds, correct?
That's correct. The rest of the message is all about the various red tapes and back and forths that took place over months, that this is part of what's being communicated here.
And although you said you didn't have to fill out or make a claim, in this particular text message, the defendant's telling you that she thought that both MetLife and Cigna would call you to have you fill out some forms.
Correct.
And that her lawyer is trying to expedite this process.
That's right.
The first time that you spoke with Detective Parshall, was that June 15th of 2017?
Sounds right. Around the arrest.
And during your very first conversation with Detective Parshall, did you relate to him the fact that the defendant from the very first night began talking to you about your father's life insurance?
I sure did.
Objection, asked and answered. Wrong.
It's overruled.
And did you also tell the detectives that the entire time, over all these last months, Monica has always been mentioning the insurance money and how she's waiting on the insurance money?
That's correct.
From that very first conversation with the detectives, with Detective Parshall after the defendant's arrest, did you also relate to him that it was in this conversation that went back and forth on the phone between Deborah Obad and Monica, where very presumptuously Deborah Obad told you that she told Monica that you would give Monica and the girls some of your money?
That's correct. Yep.
And in that very first conversation with Detective Parshall, did you also talk to him about the fact that Monica discussed with you that she was going to be selling off your father's stock options and wanting you to give up your portion of the stock options?
I did say that. Yep.
Did you also, in that very first conversation, tell Detective Parshall that the defendant would repeatedly send you or show you a monetary or financial table of the breakdown of the insurance proceeds?
Oh, yes.
You said you bought you bought a car, but you said it wasn't a new car. What did you do? Buy yourself a used car?
Yeah.
Do you recall also having a conversation with Detective Mitzi Roberts, me, and another DA, Ryan Ehrlich, back in March, the beginning of March of 2021?
Yes.
During that conversation, did you once again mention the fact that the defendant in the very first phone call talked to you about your dad having a significant amount of money in a life insurance policy coming to you.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Did you also mention in this March of 2021 interview on the over a like a Zoom call with Detective Roberts that while Monica and your father were living in Canada, that you overheard conversations between them about the defendant's infidelity?
Oh, yeah.
Your Honor, I believe this is leading the prosecutors testifying.
She's not testifying, but it is leading.
I'm asking about prior consistent statements. Did you have any conversation in the, I'm sorry, did you tell Detective Roberts as well as me and another DA, did you mention anything with respect to the defendant's prior infidelity?
Yes, I did.
And did you describe to Detective Roberts much as the same as what you've told this jury today?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you also tell Detective Roberts in this conversation in March of 2021 about the defendant's behavior, as you relayed today, regarding the purchase of the fiat?
Oh, yes.
Overruled.
And did you also, in that interview, specifically use the same type of language you used today about the defendant coming in and saying that she screamed and cried to get a deal?
Yep, through
Overruled.
yes. Those words were tantrum, screaming, crying, yes.
Did you also relate in an interview with Detective Roberts on March 3rd of 2021 what you've relayed to this jury about going with the defendant to a bank, the TD Bank in Woodbridge, to open the safe deposit box, and her comments that you've mentioned here today?
Yep, that was mentioned as well back then.
Did you also mention during that conversation that on that date the defendant also talked to you about exercising your father's stock options?
That's correct.
And did you also relate specifically, as you told us today, that she asked you to give up your right to those options?
That's correct. As I related today, I had also related at the date that you were discussing.
If I can have a moment. Oh, during the break earlier when defense counsel asked you if anything had been said to you, was that when I introduced you to the new detectives?
Yes, I had to use the bathroom, and then I stepped in there and then introduced, yeah.
You were asked by defense counsel about conversations you had with Deborah Obad after the date of the defendant's arrest. Did you have conversations with Deborah Obad regarding what she termed her role in the defendant's arrest?
Yes.
Also, during that March 2001 interview with Detective Roberts, did you detail the arguments that you recalled regarding the defendant's infidelity when she was living in Canada with your father?
Can you repeat that question?
Sure. Did you go through the details of what you recalled of the arguments between the defendant and your father regarding her infidelity?
That's correct. Those memories I had growing up, I relayed those in March of 2021, yes, just as I did today.
Anything further by the defense?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Simonelli. You are excused. You may call the next witness.
People use calls Sal or Cherry.